welcome back, Rankers. How you going? Oh, we're in stage 4. Thank you to everyone that attended the webinar last week. I think it went really well. It got great feedback. A lot of people said they got a lot out of it. Immediately went away and made changes. Hopefully that's lifted your revenue. One of the questions that came out from that was around brand and how do you check your brand and those sorts of things. One of the things that I do on a regular basis is, and anybody who watched that interview we did with Dixon Jones from Majestic will be familiar with the concept of entity search rather than, say, keyword search. So we're always looking at brand as an entity, and Google Trends will tell you whether a brand is an entity. So the search I've got going here is on 3 different cinemas complexes. Now they're different types of searches. One's these 2 are company searches, and you can see here. So Google knows that these 2 brands are actually brands. They are companies. This third one, it doesn't. It doesn't know. Oh no, there it is. Wasn't there before. There we go. But you can see, as a brand, it doesn't match up against those other 2 major ones. Now this one, now you can see here, this is COVID, right? So that industry has been devastated, obviously. But what happens in a situation, as we've shown before, with brand is that if more people are Googling your brand, you are going to have a much better chance of ranking because it is a citation. It's a mention, right? It's someone looking for you. Google knows that you're popular. And as I've shown in previous videos, especially when we went through the whole outer thing, how it affected our own brand, it lifted all our rankings, even though we didn't get many backlinks. It was about people looking for us. So Google had to raise all the rankings. The opposite is also true. If people are searching for your brand, and then all of a sudden they stop searching for your brand, the other keywords that you were ranking for can also drop. And we've seen this specifically in Melbourne with a couple of clients. So the difference between Melbourne and the rest of the country is we're not allowed to go outside. Well, we can, I think, for maybe 2 hours a day at the moment, which is nice because we need our sun, because we need our vitamin D. And one of the things that impacts, obviously, is businesses that don't have an e-commerce store. It's businesses that have a retail outlet of some description that is a destination, that you have to go there and feel the product or whatever it might be. That business model is what I'm talking about here. When people can't go there, they're going to stop looking for your brand. And that's what happened with this client. And you can see here we've got a couple of different searches going on. We've got a brand search here, and you can see here as the brand search drops, so does the other keywords related to that brand. And so the things that the brand was synonymous for. And it's because no one's looking for them. They're not a destination anymore. So, and what we've seen at the same time happen, it's just the Melbourne-based clients that it's happened to. It hasn't happened to, say, national brands or retail outlets that have a national presence, even if they don't sell online. They're still ranking, but the ones where the brand search has dropped off completely in Melbourne, and that's the only place that they operate, we see it fall away. Those searches that I showed you before, Village Cinemas, that used to be 1 or 2 up there with Hoyts for things like movie times, session times, those sorts of things. It's dropped right down to the bottom of the page. Now that could be because they've changed their site, it could be a whole bunch of things. But Hoyts is still up there. Cinemas that are operating seem okay. They're all still up there at a national level. But in Melbourne, the Melbourne-based ones, poof. And so if you're feeling that something, and you're caning your SEO company because you're a local business in Melbourne, that people search your brand and there's no reason for them to search your brand at the moment because they can't go there, then chances are you may see some other keywords drop that you might be monitoring. But there are so many things that you can look at with your brand in Google Trends, and I do Google Trends pretty much every day. And at the moment, I'm in it I don't know, 20 times a day, something like that. Because I want to see what's happening with things, especially with not only with our clients, but also with what's happening in the news. So I get a lot of my news feed essentially from Google Trends, because I can look down to the last hour and see what people are searching for around a particular topic. Right? Now that data disappears after that hour. You don't get that granularity again. It's only that snapshot in time. You can't go back and look at 1 hour's worth of data. You can go back and look at a time range, but certainly not anything less than a day. So if you're doing things like advertising on radio, on television, PR that actually doesn't have any backlinks, it's a good idea when you're doing those sorts of things, if you're doing a radio campaign or anything like that, to go in Google Trends and see if it's penetrating, see if people are searching for your brand now. And what we've seen time and time and time again is that when more people search for your brand, your rankings go up. And we know this because Google counts citations and mentions. Well, as I've said before, where is the biggest repository of mentions for brands that Google has access to? It's Google, right? They know people are talking about brand. They see the brand spikes. They see that the brand spikes because of a story on the evening news, and they'll come in the following day and crawl the site again, like we've seen many, many times before. So if your rankings have dropped and you're in Melbourne, I think they'll come back once we're out of stage 4. Hopefully that's helpful. Hang in there, Melbourne, and we'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.